Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is David. This channel is DeMars Coaching, and I'm making this video today, and it's kind of two different parts, but really it's about narcissistic abuse, narcissism on the rise. Is it our fault that we were abused? Any of it? Is it our fault that it's on the rise? I just want to get into this for a few minutes. First of all, I want to start with abuse is never the victim's fault. Never. We absolutely have to be accountable and responsible for what we do, our actions, our behaviors, and how they affect others. I want to be very clear that if someone hurt you, it's never your fault. Never. So if you let them back in 100 times, it's not your fault that they hurt you all 100 times. Might sound silly. You may have definitely heard otherwise, but it's not. Okay? And I know a lot of people get angry, frustrated, and blame the victims and say that you shouldn't have let them back in, and I told you before, and it's your fault, you asked for it. No, that's awful, awful things to say to people, and anybody who's been through this would never say that to somebody else. Right? So it's never your fault. We have cried, we have taken them back, we have tolerated, we have put up with, we've accepted. We have fought with, agreed, we tried. We were genuine, we were real, we sacrificed, we compromised, we tried to help, and we were supportive. But it's not our fault. But to heal from it, we must find ownership and acceptance. Okay? We should be able to find some ownership in some of these things. Is it our fault? No, absolutely not. And that's where all the problems may lay, because I'm going to take this publicly, socially, okay? We don't judge people for the past. We do not accept toxic behavior. We hold people accountable today. Toxic people blame and accuse and rationalize and justify. It's never okay to hurt or attack people. Never. It doesn't matter what your reason is, your excuse, if you can easily justify it or rationalize it. We are revering politicians and actors. We are respecting, admiring, and valuing fame and money on the whole. And this is worldwide. I've read many studies over the many years that I've been doing this. I can't find a couple studies I found years ago. Can't find them again. I've even made videos, and I probably posted the link to the study. I can't find the videos, or don't know which one. But I've seen videos years ago about narcissism on the rise, and that it's increasing dramatically, generationally in college students, stuff like this. So I dove really far into this. I'm going to help you guys understand, hopefully. We are not holding people accountable for bad behavior. We're actually promoting it. We are honoring and promoting victimhood on a global scale. As far as being independent, things like this. No. Is narcissism growing? Some say there's a narcissist or a narcissism epidemic, that there's a rise in narcissism in modern Western societies. The DSM, Diagnostic Statistics Manual of Mental Health, says no. Psychologists says no, that there is not rise of narcissistic personality disorder. MentalHealthMatters.org says there's a rise of internet and social media has accelerated this evolution. Narcissism has risen in recent decades as millennials and Generation Z have grown up. Narcissism tends to grow with economic stability. There is so much mixed information and debate and argument on this. I believe what was never accepted socially is now promoted. Seeing people being selfish, taking selfies, saying, I am great, I am amazing, I'm so beautiful, was never accepted when I was a child. Nobody. I mean, if there was one person that ever acted like that, everybody laughed at them and they stopped. That's it. I mean, really that simple. The endorsement rate for the statement, "I'm an important person," has increased 12 to 7780 in adolescence since 1963. Because now, here's the problem. We are losing social skills and do not see the effects of our own bad behavior. So as we talk about social media and the internet increasing this kind of narcissism and stuff like this, it may not be. It may be. I think it is. But I think it's becoming a tool for people to show their narcissism. Maybe narcissistic personality disorder isn't on the rise. Maybe narcissism is in younger generations, because it is. Younger people are very narcissistic. We were all more narcissistic 18 to 25, for sure. Fact. And as we grow up older, we become decreasingly narcissistic, being able to take care of ourselves, regulate our emotions, having some confidence. So, when we talk about narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder with a very distinct criteria, okay? But let's talk about narcissism. And most of us would be, if it was a spectrum, a scale, which it is, most of us would be somewhere in the middle, and you have some that are very selfish and a few that are very selfless. But most of us in the middle. Narcissistic Personality Inventory, NPI, which was created by Robert Raskin and Calvin S. Hall, says there's a spectrum and measures people from 0 to 40. Most score in the teens. Most of us, you and I, score in the teens. Psychological research does not support a rise. But then again, psychological research isn't always accurate, is it? So, in our relationships, in our interpersonal relationships with people, anybody that does something wrong to you is wrong. It's wrong. It's their fault. It's not your fault. Okay? We need to heal from this and recover from this. We need to take some ownership in something so we can see and say, oh yes, I cannot do this again next time to avoid this. Or if we can't, then we don't heal. We may isolate and believe the world is scary, bad place, people are bad. This will always happen again. In public, on a social scale, I think narcissism is obviously on the rise. It has to be, right? I mean, what I see people value these days, what I see people do and say on the internet and get thousands, if not millions of following for it is pretty gross. Pretty gross. But what helps me is to know that these are all young people, mostly. Very, very young people that support this kind of stuff, and they'll grow out of it, we hope. Yeah? That we'll all be able to handle the internet better someday. As far as the bad behavior that we see on the internet, the attacks and stuff like this, that is wrong. And we can't accept that. We need to hold people accountable and not support it. And again, it doesn't matter what reason, excuse that people use to attack and hurt others. And that is the part that we are responsible for. Because as a society, we are all responsible for each other, aren't we? Recover and heal. Identify toxic behavior. Be informed and inform others. Have zero tolerance. It's never okay to hurt people. Be aware of your own behaviors. I think being on the internet, maybe not using your name, maybe not using your photo, maybe just nobody will ever know who you are, it can make us more irresponsible. And we may not realize how it's affecting other people. Hold people accountable. Never accept excuses or reasons, okay? And I think the world will be a better place. I think that as children get over themselves, looking in the mirror and stuff like this for all, I think that we will too. And I think that, again, once again, the cycle will return to where this type of narcissistic behavior is not tolerated and not accepted, because we can't tolerate it or accept it. That's how we got hurt, and that will be the demise of our society. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think. Always add your own information, your own experiences that you feel like sharing, and always ask me questions. I will always answer them. And always love yourself first, guys. Bye. Thanks.